Just now, the rumor hit like a lightning strike. Not injured. Not resting. Not day-to-day. Gone. Within minutes. Timelines were flooded with speculation that Caitlin Clark had effectively been pushed out of the spotlight. And the shockwaves ripped through the WNBA world at a speed the league simply could not contain. There was no dramatic press conference, no emotional farewell, no carefully staged explanation. Her name quietly vanished from the starting lineup, her presence missing from warm-ups, her voice absent from media availability. For a player who had become the gravitational center of women's basketball, the silence felt louder than any official statement ever could. The confusion quickly turned into suspicion. Clark was not struggling. She was not buried at the end of the bench because of poor performance. She was producing, drawing ratings, filling arenas, and dominating sports debate shows across the country. Her rookie season had become appointment viewing. Casual fans who had never tuned into a WNBA broadcast suddenly knew team schedules. Jersey sales surged. Road games felt like home crowds. So when her minutes dipped without warning and then disappeared entirely, it did not feel strategic. It felt calculated. Whispers began to circulate about tension behind closed doors. Some insiders hinted at friction between Clark and league decision-makers, suggesting her growing influence was becoming difficult to manage. She was no longer just an exciting young player. She was a brand, a movement, a magnet for attention in a league-long fighting for mainstream space. The more her spotlight grew, the more uncomfortable certain executives allegedly became. The suggestion that she had questioned marketing, strategies, and pushed back on messaging only fueled the narrative that this was not about basketball at all. And then everything escalated. Sophie Cunningham stepped forward first. There was no hesitation, no careful corporate phrasing. In a post-game setting where athletes usually lean into cliches and safe answers, Cunningham detonated the moment. She made it clear that sidelining your most visible star sends a message, and not a good one. The implication was unmistakable. This was not load management. This was not rotation experimentation. Something deeper was unfolding. Within minutes, her words were clipped, reposted, dissected, and debated across every platform imaginable. If the league hoped the storm would pass quietly, that hope evaporated the following day when Lexie Hull entered the conversation. Hull did not soften the tone. She sharpened it. Her comments reframed the issue entirely. If a player with Clark's profile could be treated this way, what protections did anyone else truly have? That single thought ignited a second wave of outrage, shifting the narrative from one star's mysterious absence to a broader question of power and player security. Within the league structure, the internet responded in full force. Hashtags exploded. Fan accounts began compiling clips of Clark's recent performances, pointing out the disconnect between her production and her sudden disappearance. Others highlighted moments where she absorbed physical play without whistles, building a case that she had been navigating unusual resistance long before this tipping point. The debate spilled beyond WNBA circles into mainstream sports talk. Analysts on major networks began asking the same uncomfortable question. Why would a league sideline the very player accelerating its growth? When the WNBA finally issued a statement, it read like damage control drafted in a boardroom. The phrasing was polished and vague, attributing the situation to rotational strategy and internal decisions. Clark's name was not emphasized. The controversy was not directly acknowledged. The tone was measured, almost sterile. Instead of calming the storm, it intensified it. Fans interpreted the silence on specifics as confirmation that something was being concealed rather than. Clarith, Cunningham, and Hull did not retreat. Their follow-up reactions, subtle but unmistakable, signaled that the official explanation did not align with what they were seeing internally. The subtext was clear. Players were tired of being told to accept decisions without transparency. The dynamic had shifted. This was no longer a story about one rookie phenom. It was about autonomy, about who controls narratives, and about whether the league's rapid growth had outpaced its comfort with outspoken stars. Behind the scenes, reports surfaced of tense locker room discussions and private conversations among players across multiple teams. Younger athletes, particularly those entering the league during this new era of visibility, reportedly felt the weight of the moment. Clark's rise symbolized possibility. Her sudden absence symbolized vulnerability. The contrast was jarring. What makes this saga so combustible is the context. The WNBA has fought for decades to expand its audience and cultural footprint. Clark's arrival coincided with record-breaking viewership, viral highlights, and renewed national attention. Road arenas sold out. Merchandise numbers climbed. Social media engagement spiked dramatically. To see the league's most marketable figure suddenly sidelined without a transparent narrative felt counterintuitive at best. Self-sabotaging at worst. At the center of it all stands Clark herself, largely silent amid the chaos. That silence has become its own statement. In an era where athletes often address controversies instantly, her absence from the conversation has only amplified the mystery. Is she choosing patience? Is she navigating internal processes? Or is she being advised to stay quiet while the storm rages? Every unanswered question feeds the speculation machine. Meanwhile, Cunningham and Hull have unintentionally become symbolic figures in a broader reckoning. Their willingness to speak publicly cracked open a conversation many believe has been simmering beneath the surface for years. The tension between league branding and player individuality is not unique to women's basketball. But in a league still shaping its national identity, the stakes feel magnified. Every move is scrutinized. Every decision echoes louder. The larger question now looms over the entire sport. Can the WNBA balance institutional control with the empowerment of its stars? Can it embrace personalities that challenge internal norms while still maintaining structural authority? Clark's trajectory suggested a future defined by explosive growth and mainstream integration. Her abrupt disappearance from the spotlight threatens to fracture that momentum. Yet crises often reveal deeper truths. The fan mobilization demonstrated that the audience is no longer passive. They track stats, dissect footage, and demand accountability. Sponsors are reportedly paying close attention, aware that brand alignment depends on public perception. Media outlets are no longer simply repeating official statements. They are investigating them. The ecosystem has evolved. Whether Clark ultimately returns seamlessly, or whether this chapter marks a turning point in league politics, one thing is undeniable. The conversation has changed. The players have found their collective voice, and the public is listening more closely than ever before. What began as a whisper has become a roar that cannot be ignored. If you've been following this unfolding drama, now's the time to join the conversation. Do you believe this was truly a strategic decision? Or is there more happening behind closed doors? Are Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull right to challenge the league publicly? Or does this risk deepening internal fractures? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like the video.